Bounding Away is living up to its name and is going to walk in.
The story of Bounding Away is really the Tommy Smith story. TJ's daughter, Gay Waterhouse.
Well, he always wanted, I suppose he always wanted to achieve different feats in racing, and when he realised that he had the filly that could do this, namely Bounding Away, it became a burning ambition that he would be able to train the winner of the Golden Slipper that he had owned and bred.
I said to Gay, I think I bred 3 or 4 Derby winners and Oaks winners and things like that. I said, now we'll try and breed a Golden Slipper winner. And I looked through Biscay's performance, and I think he only ever had about 1 or 2 Sovereign Edition mares. So I rang David Bath. I said, look, I'll tell you what, I've got a young mare here. I want to breed a Golden Slipper winner. I'll book her to Biscay. He said, OK. Well, she was a brilliant gallop for the first day she went on the track, and the first barrier trial she won. And Jack Higham came up and offered me $300,000 for, which was a very big price for a horse, 3 years ago. I said, no, I'm going to race this one myself, and I think I'll win the Golden Slipper with her. So I put her away. I didn't race. I put her away till end of January.
Then the lead-up to the Blue Diamond.
Well, she won the day with Harry White on it. I think she drew the outside. And the first run around this way, they mostly improved quite a bit. And on Joe, she was going like a rocket on the track.
Yeah, I came down and rode her on the, I think it might have been the Tuesday and the Thursday before the race, and her work was so good. She was working with another 2-year-old we had here at the time, and, just running away from him the last furlong and beating him easy. She looked a great chance in the race. I was very keen on the chances leading into the Blue Diamond.
I thought she'd win both races. I thought she'd win that race and the Golden Slipper just as easy.
Up to the turn with 600 to go, and the leader Bounding Away ahead now to Indeed I Do.
I couldn't believe, the pace was on, and she was up outside the leader, and I couldn't hold her slow enough. So, I reckon that day she was really on fire.
Looking for a run with Vividly. Then came Western Ace at the head of the others, and Bataan making ground out wide. Bounding Away the leader into the straight. Led from Indeed I Do. Then Opine Trust, Lockley's daughter, Bataan on the outside, but Bounding Away has kicked away. Dittman shot at 2 lengths in front of Lars If. Bataan struggling from Lockley's daughter, but Bounding Away is living up to its name and is going to walk in. Bounding Away wins the Blue Diamond by 4 lengths.
After winning the Magic Night Quality at 7-2 on, it was on to the Golden Slipper. But going into the race, Mick Dittman had a few reservations.
I think mainly because I'd felt in the last week of the preparation for the Slipper, I'd felt she'd just gone off at fraction. I know Magic Night Day, she was just so spot on. And I think she'd just gone over the hill a little bit. And leading into the race, I was always a little bit worried, how the race is going to be run, where she'll be running and so forth. And being such a short price favourite too, there's a lot of tension there.
So I've never seen Dad so G'd up as the week leading up to the Golden Slipper. He was so tense and so highly strung. He's a highly strung man at the best of times, but he was extremely tense, extremely highly strung.
Racing in the Slipper. Seaswell on the inside of Little Slow Scotch and Dry and Maya Card also dropped back, and Pre-Cattle and the early leader from Bounding Away. Captive on the third, Magic Flute improving, so's Breakfast Creek, Western Ace. Behind those horses,
she was always in a good position. She joined the leaders just after rounding the home turn. I thought the way she'd travelled in the race that she'd ping past them and beat them quickly and easily, but she didn't. She, as I say, I felt she was just going over the hill a bit, and it was from the furlong home she showed a lot of courage to win.
700 to go. Pre-Cattle and 3/4 Breakfast Creek. 2 Bounding Away, a link Magic Flute, Imperial Baron, followed by Western Ace. Captive on Dreams Delight, Just Blooming. Then Seaswell, Headed Star, Bataan, Christopher, followed by Scotch and Dry, Hater Prince, and Maya Carter's last. Straightening up in the Slipper, Pre-Cattle and Just the leader. Bounding Away on the outside, coming after Pre-Cattle and Imperial Baron trying to get clear. And then Breakfast Creek and Captive on. Pre-Cattle and being taken on by Bounding Away. Imperial Baron behind them, not getting much room. And then Just Blooming. Bounding Away's taken the lead narrowly. It's Bounding Away coming away, and Bounding Away wins it.
It was everything. It was a dream come true. Dad's won several Golden Slippers, and he's won many, many other great races in Australia, but this was something very personal, very much to do with the Smith family.
I doubt if I've trained a 2-year-old much better, he might have to get back to a horse like, say, Tulloch or something like that, but the other 2-year-olds, I think she could handle them all.
After the Slipper, she was beaten by Diamond Shower in the AJC Sires, but then had her revenge in the Champagne Stakes, beating Maya Card and Diamond Shower.
Tommy and I had sort of revised a plan that we'd try and ride her back and a lot quieter in the Champagne and see if we could use that quick sprint of hers at the finish of the race. And that's how it worked out. It was the first time she was ridden back in the field. And of course, I let her go topping the rise at Randwick. She just went so quick that she put a gap in them and they couldn't beat her.
And here comes bounding away. Look at the little filly go. Bounding away, exploded to the lead at the 200 mark. Diamond Shower out wide, running into second place, is coming home hard. Bounding away is clear with 100 to go, and she's got them well beaten. Bounding away, the bookies are wrong this time. Bounding away wins the Slipper and the Champagne, and it's a brilliant win.
In the spring of '86, she returned to racing with a series of 3 seconds in Sydney and Melbourne before taking out the Flight Stakes at Randwick.
Getting to second, here she comes, bounding away, is cruising up to them on the outside, and Dittman said go as they got to the top of the rise. Bounding away, hit the front, but not by far. Evandale Star is hanging on gamely. Bounding away, and Evandale Star together with 100 left to go. Dittman's got to pull out all stops on Bounding Away, and here comes Diamond Shower. Bounding Away won't give up, though. Her fighting heart will get her there, I think. Yes, she fell in to win.
She then returned to Melbourne for an unplaced run in the 1,000 Guineas at Caulfield. It had been a disappointing spring after the excitement of the autumn.
I don't think Tommy always had her right as a 3-year-old. She was off and on a bit, and I think it was probably due to her probably a mental attitude more than anything. She was, you know, she got quite catty as a 3-year-old filly, and you know, some days she was in a great mood. Other days, you know, you sort of couldn't do much with her. So you know, if he had her on, she would do her best. But if she was off, well, you know, you couldn't get it going.
500 to go.
She was then given a break in preparation for her 1987 campaign. Her first run back was a 4th to Canny Lass in the William Reid at Moonee Valley. And then, in blinkers for the first time, she raced fiercely in the Australian Guineas for an unplaced run behind Military Plume.
We thought it would probably improve her antics, but it virtually went the other way. She didn't want to settle in the race. She jumped out and she wanted to pull hard, even though it was a fast run race. You know, she was doing far too much work in the early part of the race, and it, you know, was impossible for her to go on. But he pulled the blinkers off her straight after that run, and you know, I don't think they mightn't have done her any harm, sort of putting them on the first day, because she seemed to mend her ways, and the next few runs were very good.
At her second start back home in Sydney, she lined up in the Group 1 Orlando Classic at Rose Hill.
On the turn now, and Captivan led. Wide out Dance Hall Girl on the corner. Then Shinakima followed by Deedle. On the fence, Just Blooming. Bounding away behind those, followed by Magic Flute. And Atlantic Mission down the outside is running on strongly. Captivan the leader at the 200 mark from Just Blooming. Atlantic Mission on the outside. Bounding away behind those. Atlantic Mission and Just Blooming are fighting it out halfway down the straight. Bounding away, getting through near the fence. It's bounding away, bursting through on the inside rail. She's coming home the better little Bounding, and Bounding Away got up to win the Orlando.
She then took on the Colts in the Rose Hill Guineas, and at her first try beyond a mile, she was an unlucky second to Ring Joe. Following this, she ran 4th to Myrecard in the AJC Derby. This fitted her for the classic race for fillies, the AJC Oaks.
The leader Bounding Away on the outside is cruising up. Dittman had a peep over the left shoulder. Round the World is close handy, and here comes our Starline down the outside, but Bounding Away kicked. Bounding Away full of running at the 200 mark, clear of Round the World, and our Starline under the whip and struggling now. Bounding Away is well clear with 100 to go. She's got the Oaks won. Round the World boxing on strongly, but the champion filly Bounding Away wins another big one. Bounding Away beat Round the World. Our Starline.
Bounding Away was the first 2-year-old to be voted Ansett National Horse of the Year. The AJC Oaks was Bounding Away's 9th win from 19 starts, and she finished her career in the winter of '87 with nearly $1.5 million in stake money. Just under $1 million of this was won as a 2-year-old. She was a truly amazing filly.
My mother's never liked horse paintings in her home at all. She thinks it's enough to put up with TJ without having to have a horse painting there. But for Dad's birthday that year, Mum and I gave him a portrait of Bounding Away, and I said to my husband, oh, I wonder if Mum would allow it to be hung over their mantelpiece. And sure enough, when we presented it to Dad on his birthday, he straight away said, oh, it's got to hang over the mantelpiece. And Mum said, yes, of course, it's the only horse that should.